I think you mean new.
In 2025, Hollywood, and particularly Disney, continues to demonstrate a stunning lack of imagination with this umpteenth remake of Snow White, as if the countless rehashed versions from recent years weren't enough to satisfy their corporate addiction to nostalgia mining. Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot lead this musical misadventure as Snow White and the Evil Queen, respectively. Directed by Mark Webb, this remake of 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs features new songs from Benj Pasek, Justin Paul, and Jack Feldman, alongside 4 recycled songs from the original, because heaven forbid we get something entirely new. Hey there, you've landed on Daily Amin, the channel obsessed with pop culture, music, fashion, real-life stories, and all things Hollywood. If you're into unique movie reviews and stuff you won't find anywhere else, you're in the right place. And since we still live in a democracy, unlike Piers Morgan's show, all opinions can be expressed here. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment, and spread the word. Let me be blunt, Snow White is absolute garbage, a complete disaster. The kind of film that would make showgirls look like Citizen Kane and Tori Spelling look like Nicole Kidman. For the record, here's Tori Spelling's greatest performance on camera.
Why are you so mad at me?
The Controversies, or How to Make Headlines Without Making a Good Movie. The film arrived prepackaged with controversy. Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White in 2021, prompting predictable outrage from the same crowd who couldn't handle a black actress playing the Little Mermaid. Apparently, a Latina playing a character whose name literally references her pale skin was a bridge too far. The film attempts to justify this by reimagining Snow White's name as referring to a snowstorm during her birth, a creative solution to a problem they created themselves. Peter Dinklage criticized the project for its contradictory approach, celebrating diversity with Zegler's casting while perpetuating stereotypes with 7 dwarfs living in a cave. Disney responded with promises to reimagine the dwarf characters, though several actors with dwarfism, including WWE wrestler Dylan Postal, argued that Dinklage's comments threatened rare employment opportunities. Actress Ali Chapman later pointed out that those were 7 roles that could have gone to talented little people, but apparently Disney preferred pixels to people. Zegler stirred more controversy at Disney's D23 Expo by dismissing the original film as very outdated and criticizing the prince for literally stalking Snow White. She emphasized that the new film would focus on Snow White becoming a leader rather than finding love, a perfectly valid creative direction had it not been accompanied by mockery of the original's romantic elements. Behind the scenes, Zegler and Gadot reportedly clashed over opposing views on the Gaza conflict, with Gadot being a hardcore Zionist, pro-colonization and pro-war, and Zegler condemning the war and the occupation, which the United Nations has dubbed a genocide. Both supporters of Israel and Palestine called for boycotts due to the actress's vocal stances. Zegler also shared a F Donald Trump post on Instagram after the presidential election, which she was forced to apologize for. Their staged appearance at the 2025 Oscars, smiling together for the cameras, fooled absolutely no one. Disney might want us to believe everything is fine, but the frigid on-screen chemistry speaks volumes. The film itself, yes, we eventually have to talk about it. Let's cut to the chase. This film is absolute trash. Rachel Zegler has talent, but she's not exactly redefining the craft here. She's clearly better than Tori Spelling, but not as good as Nicole Kidman. The plot has been sanitized of anything remotely politically incorrect to appease modern sensibilities. Snow White has transformed from a character seeking love into a revolutionary leader fighting against the evil queen. Her love interest is no longer a wealthy prince, but a poor thief. Because apparently princes are problematic now, the iconic "Someday My Prince Will Come" has been replaced with the forgettable "Waiting on a Wish," a title that ironically captures the audience's experience waiting for something interesting to happen. The film is a flat, limp, relentlessly boring experience connected by bland, uninspiring musical numbers. Despite a production budget reportedly exceeding $250 million, the film somehow manages to look embarrassingly cheap. Excessive CGI and special effects make it resemble an AI-generated nightmare. With scenes so visually overwhelming, they literally hurt to watch. The new songs are instantly forgettable, with nothing approaching the magic of the original soundtrack. Further evidence that throwing money at creativity rarely works. The computer-animated dwarves represent perhaps the most baffling creative decision in recent cinema history. If Disney deemed the presence of actual dwarves problematic, how does replacing them with CGI solve anything? The logical conclusion would be to reimagine the story entirely, but instead we get unconvincing digital avatars that acknowledge the perceived problem while still exploiting it for profit. These lifeless digital puppets lack the warmth and charm of the original characters, demonstrating that technological innovation means nothing without heart. Even worse, this decision robbed numerous talented dwarf actors in Hollywood of rare employment opportunities, a cruel irony from a studio that touts its progressive values. There's nothing woke about digital erasure and denying work to the very community you claim to protect. Disney managed the impressive feat of offending everyone: traditionalists, progressives, and most importantly, the dwarf community itself. Gal Gadot, Hollywood's greatest mystery. Dear Hollywood executives, please stop forcing this talentless actress upon us. What blackmail material does she possess that keeps her employed? Her acting ability deteriorates with each film, yet her paycheck and profile continue to grow inversely proportional to her talent. Her only genuine achievement in Snow White is somehow managing to squeeze her comically oversized bubblehead into her costume, a feat of engineering that likely required more special effects budget than the entire forest sequence. The true villain origin story should be how her enormous cranium didn't collapse under the weight of her crown. One can almost hear the costume department's sighs of relief each time they successfully got her head through a doorway. She's utterly incapable of conveying emotion, delivers dialogue so mangled it requires subtitles, despite speaking English, and her musical number should be classified as cruel and unusual punishment under the Geneva Convention. One would think playing a wicked witch would come naturally to someone with her political views, but apparently that was too challenging a role. She fumbles through scenes with all the grace of a rhinoceros in ballet slippers, somehow managing to be both wooden and overacting simultaneously, a paradox of terrible performance art. The real villain isn't the evil queen, but whoever decided to give Gadot a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Yes, this former pageant contestant with the acting range of a doorknob received one of Hollywood's highest honors. Can someone explain how an ex-Miss Israel with zero notable accomplishments, a very short career, not a single Golden Globe or Oscar nomination, became one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood in 2020? What cosmic injustice allowed this to happen while genuinely talented performers struggle for recognition?
Well, for me, with Wonder Woman, I feel like I have been given such a huge opportunity to show the strong, beautiful side of women, finally. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hollywood's creative bankruptcy. Snow White represents yet another Yun-inspired remake nobody asked for or needed. It's high time Hollywood stopped churning out remakes and reboots, even when disguised under the banner of feminist or progressive reimaginings. Here's a radical idea: create new characters and leave the classics alone. That would be truly innovative. I urge you to see anything but this film. Support independent productions, films directed by women and minorities, projects made with far fewer resources, yet infinitely more heart and craftsmanship. Your time and money deserve better than this soulless corporate product masquerading as entertainment. Of course, don't forget to smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video with everyone you know, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. You might enjoy my fascinating investigation into the Omar Radad case, my review of Anora, my tribute to David Lynch, or my critique of Angela Bassett's extraordinary work in What's Love Got to Do with It. Your support keeps these honest reviews coming. Join our community of real cinema lovers who aren't afraid of the truth.